Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Cross and I'm here with Dixie Andelin Forsyth for a feminine moment. And we are going to answer a question from the YouTube channel that came from a lady who had watched our video on childlikeness, or girlishness is what we're calling it now. And it's a really great question. It's about how to set boundaries in a feminine or girlish way. So go ahead.
Well, actually, that's a great question, because boundaries are actually part of girlishness.
Yes.
I.e. childlikeness. And it can vary anywhere from the mild over here, where on the video we posted of the young couple acting it out, where the husband is eating popcorn as he's talking to her, and he's just telling her about his day, and he spills it all over her nice clean kitchen. And her reaction to that, that's a boundary setting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's doing it in a very charming way. Mm-hmm. And she just kind of stomped her foot and acted like, oh, my kitchen, you're spilling it. And then we show the bad way to do it, which is to really get angry with him. And then that can escalate into an even bigger argument, and you end up not speaking to each other. There's the mild boundary setting over here, which you'd use girlishness. And then over here is the more serious, which is, to me, the most serious would be serial cheating, attempted murder, obviously.
Yeah.
Those kinds, anything really serious over here. And I think pornography is over on this side because it can destroy relationships.
Yes.
So if you've got a boundary you're setting over here and your husband is into pornography, it's not really appropriate to use the girlish thing that you use over here.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'd want to go more to being direct and upfront, like I can't do this. It's allowing that you are more valuable than that. Like I can't do that. I can't live like that. I'm not willing to put up with that. I just can't do it. And that's also girlish in the sense that you're not, no bad language, ladies. We don't do that. It's unrefined. It's crass. It's ugly. And I can't do that, and you don't use bad language, you don't fly off the handle, because that obviously accomplishes nothing. But you set the boundary with, that's it, I'm not willing to do that.
And we've never really talked about childlike anger, but we touched on it in the last video, but it's more like indignation.
Well, that's why it fits over here in the mild side. In the case of the video we did with the young couple, he wasn't upset with her. He was thoughtless in that he had some popcorn. He'd just come home from work, and he was just stuffing it in his mouth, and you could see it flying all over the place. She was trying to cook something, and he doesn't even notice. It's flying everywhere. Now, I've had things like that happen. Have you?
Oh.
It's just, or how about this one where I think we talked about the other day, where you've hardly made anything, and then your husband takes a big spoon and eats out of it. That's where the girlish indignation is perfect over here. And it could get out of hand and you end up not speaking. That is really tragic, when over here, mild things where he wasn't even intending to hurt you, but he was just thoughtless. Mm-hmm. And probably most of things that happen are over on this end of it. But this end gets into serious stuff with cheating, physical abuse, drugs, and all of it's kind of wound up together. Then you have to take a more serious approach, which is a boundary is you have to protect yourself and saying, I can't do this. I'm not willing to do this. And that also accepts a man at face value, meaning, okay, my husband is into pornography. Okay, into pornography. Your next question shouldn't be, how do I get him to stop? But more like, what am I willing to put up with, and set the boundary? I can't do that. I just can't do that. It isn't saying you have to change or else, or giving him a guideline or regimen. He's a full-grown man. He can go get counseling. He can do all those things on his own. He can quit. But your job isn't to make him quit. Your job is to set the boundary, and that's a feminine way. What isn't feminine, like we said, is this horrible language, cussing like a sailor, flying off the handle, throwing things, all that stuff. And it doesn't work. It's
ultimatums. Yeah.
Ultimatums, calling names, um, unless they're charming names, but those wouldn't be
It would be
appropriate
on the
over
other
here.
side. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be over here. And we all know what these are over here, and we all know what these are over here. And when you can't, if you're putting up with something you just simply can't put up with.
Yeah. Yeah. Based, like moral, morality or.
Yeah, if I'm married to a man, I expect him to be faithful to me. And cheating includes these things. And to me, cheating includes pornography. Virtually having sex with other women, and I don't know.
Right.
It's not okay. It's just not okay.
Not okay things are physical abuse, emotional abuse, verbal, pornography, outright cheating, adultery. Those are things that, we're not saying be childlike in that way, but you have to own your character and defend yourself a little bit.
Part of childlikeness is directness.
Direct, yeah.
Direct, not blunt. Direct. And like the way children ask for things. My sister said, Dad, I'm hungry. Can we get a hamburger? She didn't try to manipulate or hint or anything. She just said, I'm hungry. And could I get a hamburger? If she just said, I'm hungry, he would have thought, oh, what do I do now?
Right. He needs specifics. You know what I think?
It's helpful. It's helpful.
It's worth more discussion on the childlikeness or directness on the extreme end, because a lot of the questions do come from women who the reason they're asking is they have that situation. They're not quite sure how to handle their verbally abusive, emotionally, physically abusive husband. They feel stuck. So,
well, it's nice if it's physically abusive and emotionally abusive, and you feel scared. You need a support system. Family member, a minister, church person, or a counselor, or somebody for support in that, rather than, I don't know. People get in dangerous situations, and you and we watch too many crime shows.
Yeah, that's true.
So we know about the women that end up getting killed because they confronted an emotionally and physically abusive spouse who was drunk or high, and they
I think too, a lot of times they get killed because they don't listen to their gut and don't meet them in a private location, or they're not listening to their gut.
Was this a spouse we're talking about? Because
in the things that I've recently watched, spouse or ex-boyfriend or whatever, a lot of women are lured away to a different place because the guy's like, I just need to talk to you one last time, and he sweet talks them, and then they go meet him, and then they get captured, and he tries to kill them. And so listen to your gut and get advice. I think a lot of women hold this in. They don't talk to other people about what to do.
Well, and believe it or not, people always focus on the girlish or childlike anger, but there's a whole other part to it, which is asking, it's directness, being upfront, and childlike. There's other parts of it. And the direct part goes over here with the more serious stuff, including looking at those red flags that are waving and not look at them afterwards.
Yeah, so I would encourage anybody watching this, you can private message us over on Facebook or email us, and if you can provide more specifics, we can give a more educated answer toward.
And if you handle the serious stuff in that direct way, that will be feminine.
Yeah.
That will be, and when she said in a feminine way, these are all feminine ways.
Yeah, a feminine way without being angry and nasty and mean back. You can do that.
Well, when you lose control of your anger, you almost always regret something.
Yes.
So we don't want to do that, because we want to make things worse.
Exactly.
We want to make things better.
Dignity. All right. Well, thank you, Dixie. Thank you so much for answering our questions. We really appreciate it. I will talk to you later. Thank you.
Soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.